Fire support has arrived. Greetings everyone, I am Sister Lilia and the day has come where I finally have an official Malcador. So long-time viewers of the channel will know that I have scratch-built Malcadors. They're decent. They're not great, but they're decent. They've not really killed anything in a game. Maybe this thing will have a higher kill rate. So quickly, let's just get the box out of the way. So we've got on the front, we've got a Malcador. I'm going to call it Vanquisher. On the side, we have Malcador Battle Tank. Okay, on the top, we have the Malcador Battle Tank. On the end, the Battle Tank. On the bottom, Words and Things. And on the end, other end, an Annihilator. Nice. But you're not here for the box, even if we do see some of the stuff about it on the back of it. Now, I find it interesting this doesn't come with a heavy stubber. And on the... So much plastic. So we have here a Sponson sprue, I believe. We have the Malcador. We have the actual Malcador sprue itself, which has the battle cannon here, Vanquisher cannon here, Demolisher cannon, twin las cannon. There was other options on here too, if I remember correctly. We've got barrel parts for the las cannons. We've got we've got the turret itself, the swiveling turret itself, we've got a mount, we've got a fuel tank, we've got two parts of a fuel tank, we've got two hull options, which I believe, nope, they do not in fact lock in. That is lousy. This is a $150 kit, things should lock in. We've also got the bits for the sponsons, which have these plug in. Okay. Hopefully we are done falling everywhere. I really hope so. Yes, underneath we get to see the other side of the sponson, of the turret. I do like that there's little shovel and whatever other tool that is. Like, there's a hammer, a big nail thing. I like that. That's a neat little touch. Front hatch. We've got back of the turret. Is it a turret or is it I don't know what the term for a sunken, for the opposite of a turret is. But we've got part of the side. We've got part of the side. We've got the hull mount for the turret to sit into. We've got some of, I believe, the side of the turret. Oh, that detail. Oh, that lovely detail. I'm guessing that's part of the back. There's a lot of interesting details here. Yeah, I'm just loving the details I see on there. So, sponson. So we've got your multi-laser sponson. You've got your multi-part heavy bolters. I say multi-part because I just saw that the end parts for the barrel is there. And here we've got autocannons that look like heavy stubbers. We've got las cannons. We've got multi-lasers and heavy flamers. I mean, let's be real, if you want to run them as heavy stubbers in Harris in 40k, go for it. I doubt anyone will care. Not sure why you'd want to run heavy stubbers over running, heavy bolters, but yeah. So now we have the Solar Auxilia upgrade sprue, which comes with the lovely, lovely dozer blade. I like the design of the dozer blade. Oh, it does come with a heavy stubber. Cool. So I've got a heavy stubber. That's probably what I'll put on the Malcador. We've got various bits of crew stuff for the Solar Auxilia. We've got a void shield, which is it a void shield? It looks like a void shield. We've got parts of the multi-laser, parts of the heavy flamer, and I like that the heavy stubber is almost one piece, and then everything else is far more in parts. See some other detailed pipes and stuff. You've got some Heresy Era Solar Auxiliary iconography. I'm surprised they didn't put trader iconography in here, given, you know, Malcadors were in service to both sides on the war during the Great Heresy. I did like the Solar Auxilia faceplate, helmet plate, particularly that one. Like, just, if I can make my camera focus, like that middle one, just, how cool is that middle one? And my camera is not focusing, and I am sorry, but I had to mount it on a sewing machine to be able to show the entirety of the box. So yeah, I will probably build it with the dozer blade, regardless of whether I run it with it. Probably even the Hunter Killer. Ooh, nice smoke launchers. Not something you think you'd say, but even the smoke launchers look nice. Next we have the hull sprues, which I don't have a Dracosan because I didn't buy the Solar Auxilia box because I don't play Solar Auxilia. So this is kind of my first time properly looking at these in person. I've looked at them enough times online that this part does kind of lose a bit of impact, but we've got nice moulded on detail, and apologies for any background noise you hear. I literally can't stop it. I'm guessing that's hull mount? I could be wrong though. Like we see the inside mouldings for the sponsons. Then we see the back part for the Malcador hull, which includes the engine cover, the engine moulded detail itself, the base section with some connection points for the dingo, dozer blade, and standard Lehman Russ tracks, which I like that they didn't go and redesign the tracks. I like that they're just consistent to the Lehman Russ. Next we have the instructions and a Solar Auxilia transfer sheet. I don't see this being very useful to someone who doesn't play Heresy. Then I'm a guard player. I picked this up because it works for the guard. So we've got what looks like the standard Dracosan instructions going up to going about as, I don't know, because of the difference in the kit, there's a lot more to it. Oh well. Now, do they say anything about not having to glue the turret together? Yeah, don't glue that bit, but glue everything else. Okay, I am going to have to modify the heck out of this thing to make this thing, well, maybe not modify the heck out of it, but yeah, we'll see how we go with this. First burn. We see the, oh, it's a flare shield. That's what that thing is. I'm getting the feeling I'm going to need magnets to finish this project, to finish this thing. Well. So, the Malcador. If this looks wonky, if the model itself looks wonky, it's because it is. This thing was a menace to put together. Things did not want to cooperate. Like, I have had to shave the track
mounts down so as to be able to actually get the tracks to go into the top. I had to hard bend things to get them to sit, and they still aren't sitting right, as the gap there can attest. Now, I haven't glued the turret in because I'm planning on magnetising things. But, like, look at how even that just doesn't sit square. I'm going to have to glue that eventually because it just does not want to sit properly without weights. This was $150 and it was an absolute pain in the ass. I know the Malcadors are a Forge World kit. I know Forge World stuff is notorious for being problematic to build, but still, it shouldn't have been as much of a pain in the backside to build. Also, the kit doesn't come with an engine block, so if you want the thing to have an engine, you've got to get creative. Now, I'm showing the model in this state right now because I am going to paint it. And before that, I'm going to go ham on the conversion, on the detail addings. Adding a lot of stuff to it from 40k range because this thing's going to be used in my guard army. Like, turret options wise, we've got the Vanquisher cannon, which doesn't have 40k rules. We've got the battle cannon, which it does. We've got auto cannons. We've got multi-lasers. I wish it had 40k rolls for those. CS Goto would be very happy. We've got heavy bolters. We've got heavy flamers. And that is purely because this kit comes with one of the... Well, with this kit coming with only one of the Solar Auxilia weapon sprue, the little small one, there are not enough weapons to properly arm this tank the way you want to. Case in point, if I swap out the last cannons for a battle cannon, and I want to equip this thing as a 40k one, I can't go with all heavy bolters. Now, I had to blue tack that on because it just won't stay otherwise. Now, there would be ways of fixing that using, like you could glue it in, but if you're wanting to have this thing be modular, good luck. Because, like, that's not going to sit. I had to use a mountain of blue tack to get it to sit there. And at least I can make it pivot. But the battle tank can't have a demolisher cannon. Forge World's rules team have not updated it to be able to. And if you want this thing to have, take all of the options out of the kit, or have have 3 heavy bolters, you're going to need an extra weapon sprue. It's also worth noting that I've got the pair of last cannons from the sprue on the sides because I'd equipped this thing as a annihilator. Details wise, it's a decent kit. It needs more. For the price, it needs to have an engine. I don't need it to be much of an engine. It doesn't need to actually make it move. But for 150 or so Australian dollars, it should at least have something resembling an engine block. If the Land Raider from 2000 has a sculpted engine block, this thing should have one when you've got a grate that will show blackness otherwise. An alternative would be to glue in some black fabric. That'd be the easier option. And when I get around to getting a second Malcador, I'll do that, and I'll try and build that one a bit differently to see if I have the same level of issues with getting this thing to do what I want it to. Like, you can see that things aren't sitting square on it. I tried to get them to. I tried. It just didn't want to. So we've got the Malcador there. Let's put it next to a Knight Armiger. The Knight Armiger is taller than it, but smaller. Let's put it next to a Lehman Russ. The Lehman Russ is much shorter than it, but Not much talking, but not really much. Like, the Malcador is longer, most certainly. Like, if we just hold the two of them, you can see just kind of the difference in length. That doesn't surprise me. And the dangling, neither does the dangling last cannon. And yeah, there's a giant gap there because they went, no, we're not putting anything in behind the turret. Why would we do that? And there goes a last cannon. I've never seen that again. I liked the idea of heavy flamers on this thing. Now I've tried to keep the sponsons as pivotable as possible, because that just makes things easier for me. But I don't get how the sponsons on how this thing is less interchangeable weapons wise than the fucking Lehman Russ Demolisher from 2010. Like, I've even used part of the Lehman Russ Demolisher's plasma cannon in this, and it's left me with the mounting with part of the mounting part for the turret that lets me just hot swap the turrets. Now, it wouldn't be such a problem if there was more than one of more than one of each of these pieces here, so that I could just go slomp and just shove it in there and have multiples. Or if the turret has been designed in such a way that to actually interchange, that I could just slot the gun in. Yeah, that would sacrifice the vertical pivot, but it would also mean I wouldn't have to stuff around with either magnets or making it go in, and we don't have much of a range on the turret pivot, but that's also affected by the top of the tank. Now, and to get the actual, like if you watched the build video, you'll see that I did actually have to make the heavy stubbers, had to actually make half the heavy stubber hand grip section by cutting up another weapon, just because it wasn't able to be done that way. The kit expects you to put a hand on the heavy stubber and have a crew person standing at the top there. Never mind that you may not want to use the crew people in the kit. Yes, I am salty because this thing was $150. It was a pain in the ass to build. Now for the thing that's going to make me probably even going to make me laugh out of this. A very long time ago, I scratch built some Malcadors. Well, one Malcador Defender and later a Valdor when it became apparent I needed a tank hunting super heavy. Unfortunately, the Valdor turned out to be absolute garbage, rules-wise, and did more damage to itself than it ever did to a knight. But here's how here's how they scale. The Valdor is, my attempt at it is bigger. Funny when I put it like in front and you can't see. Like, can you see how much bigger it is? Like, it was more painted a while ago, but things have gradually broken on that kit. On that, it wasn't really a kit, it was a conversion of a paper template. This was also a conversion of a paper template. Yes, I have one Defender. I will soon have more because I'm going to end up turning Dracosan into one, because it'll be cheaper to buy a Dracosan and use some spare heavy bolters that I've got lying around. And yeah, I'm also annoyed. This thing costs $150 and the Forge World team haven't even, and either the Forge World team or GW team haven't given us a rules update that gives us proper rules. Sorry about how salt-filled this video has been. Yeah. This tank has caused me grief, pain, and frustration. But mostly pain. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope you found this video insightful in some way or another. And I hope you'll come back for the video where I cover all of how I did all the modifications. Because there's a lot of special modifications. That's come off. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Bye.